standing there in a group when this assault was at least 2 people with rifles come in and start shooting up the terminal. They run the other way. They had no training. Most of them had no guns. They don't know what to do. They're in panic just like everybody else. So now they have to stop, regroup themselves. A captain takes charge of them and says, stop, come back. You guys with the rifles, you 3 with rifles, come up here. We got to shoot these guys. So somebody steps up, starts to try to control those 2, but it was very ineffective. And this attack went on for 64 hours. So let's watch some of this and see what happens here. And once again, I apologize for the sound. We're doing the best we can with it. Whoop. Hello.
In November last year, an organization determined to surpass Al-Qaeda as the world's most feared terrorist group sent 10 gunmen to Mumbai, India's biggest city. Their mission was to kill and keep on killing.
The bodies were falling on me, and I was buried under the bodies from my waist down.
They wanted to stage a Lashkar-e-Toiba, the army of the righteous. Indian intelligence recorded the terrorist conversations with their commanders in Pakistan. On the 26th of November 2008, 10 gunmen arrived off Mumbai on a hijacked fishing trawler. The crew was killed. The captain left alive to navigate. Later that night, the Indian intelligence services would begin recording the terrorists talking to their controllers in Pakistan. Under cover of darkness, they landed in a fisherman's slum next to the oldest, wealthiest part of Mumbai. Splitting up into teams of 2, they said their last goodbyes and hailed taxis to take them to their targets, which were all close by. At the station, Kasab and his accomplice Ismail mingled with those they had come to kill. They were ordinary people from every part of India, traveling to a wedding, a village, a temple, workers laden with holiday gifts, Muslim families heading home for the festival of Eid. At 7 minutes to 10, Kasab and Ismail opened their backpacks and took out assault rifles. The policemen at the station stood watching the massacre. Then most of them ran away and hid. One who didn't was Sudam Pandaka.
त्या टायमाला आम्ही 15-20 पोलीसवाले तिथे होतो. पण काय प्रकार आहे आणि काय करावं त्यावेळेस सुचत नव्हतं अजिबात. म्हणजे आमचं सुद्धा हे चालत नव्हतं. काय करावं काय नाही.
The second in command at the station, Police Inspector Shashank Shinde, rallied his men.
फक्त त्यांनी तिथे सांगितले 5-6 रायफलवाले तुम्ही इकडे माझ्याबरोबर चला. आणि त्यांनी सांगितले हे अतिरेकी आहेत तर तुम्ही बाहेर करा. काहीच नाही फक्त नेम धरून त्यांना गोळे झाडायचे एवढंच मनात होतं बाकी काही नाही. त्यांच्या फायरिंग करून त्यांना मारायचं एवढंच येतं मनात.
To take on Kasab, Pandaka carried an ancient bolt-action rifle with 5 bullets. Inspector Shinde carried a pistol. Another policeman, Ambalas Pawa, was unarmed.
अंबादास पवारने मला सांगितले की मी पोलीस वर्ष आहे रायफल घेऊन मी फायर करतो म्हणून माझ्यातून रायफल घेऊन मी एक राऊंड घेऊन बाहेर गेला. त्या टायमाला रायसंग लोड वगैरे करून त्याने ट्रेनिंग घेतली. अतिरेकी आहे त्याचं नाव कसावे. माझ्या छातीवर त्यांना गोळी झाल्याने गोळीचा माग छातीवर बसल्याने शांत होता आणि माझ्या पाठीमागं शिक्षण साहेब आणि अंबादास पवार ते महेश पडले पाठीमागं.
As Kassab and Ismail headed for the exit, a policeman grabbed a rifle from a terrified comrade. It jammed, and in desperation he hurled a plastic chair. Now Kassab fired through the station windows, shooting down a plainclothes policeman. The Wednesday night traffic passed by, the drivers oblivious to the horror inside. An hour and a half had passed since Kassab and Ismail had come ashore with their 8 accomplices. Now they walked out of the station and melted into the darkness. With the terrorists gone, the railway police rushed out of hiding, weapons at the ready. Kassab and Ismail had killed 52 people at the station and wounded more than 100.
So it has happened before. 64 hours of carnage in that city. They killed over 160 people, wounded 300 more before they were finally stopped. This is the kind of attacks that we're expecting in this country. What happened in Paris yesterday will happen here. And they know it will overwhelm law enforcement because we only have so many resources. One, Colorado, the Aurora movie theater shooting, that wore them out. With a super megaplex movie theater, I don't know how many shooters they had, trying to secure that facility, all the people that were wounded and they had to evacuate, trying to coordinate with fire and EMS, getting the ambulances there that wouldn't come because the police and fire weren't talking to each other very well. Our police were talking to our police dispatchers, who were trying to call the fire dispatchers, talking to the fire battalion chief, and he's not sending the ambulances in because it's a hot zone, what we call a hot zone, it's not safe. But there was officers on scene in 1 minute from the first 911 call, there was officers on scene. Within a minute and a half, the suspect was in custody. The situation was resolved. Within a minute and a half, the shooter was in custody. But people lay there bleeding and dying because we couldn't get the ambulances to the movie theater. Because we forgot to tell them one simple word: it's safe to come in. The fire chief over there said, I ain't sending my people. I'm in charge of my ambulances, I'm not sending them anywhere. But the lieutenant over the scene and the fire chief never actually communicated. They weren't face to face. The communication didn't go back and forth smoothly. And he never got the word that the shooter was in custody. It was safe to send the ambulances until they reported over. That's on us. We need events going on with only a handful of guys. This is overwhelming for any city. New York, LA, Houston, Dallas. This is a horrible event because we need to get there fast and we need to put rounds on the bad guy as quick as we can. What else depends on, look at that hallway. Look at that hallway. Target availability. We need to reduce. You know what that is? 3 minutes. Anybody have a clue what that is? I'm sorry? No? Close. Response time. That is the average response time for law. That's pretty fast. These days are done. SWAT Justin's going to do. And to the scene, he's going to go in and kill him too. Patrol officers will take the fight to the bag down and go finish it. That's one of the reasons we have patrol rifles now. Y'all know about patrol rifles? Officers have their AR-15s or M4s in their cars with them because we get some of these long hallways in these schools. That's a long, hard shot with a pistol. And the bad guys have rifles and they have body armor. So we're trained, we're prepared to deal with that and defeat that. So we're going to put rounds on the car, we're going to put them down. So there ain't no SWAT team, when they get there, it's over. They just help control the crime scene. That's what they're going to be doing from now on. 3 minutes. This is an important thing. 3 minutes. You need to remember that. All right. Now let's talk about the civilian response. What you guys wanted to hear, why you're here. What are you going to do in those 3 minutes? Now remember denial. Don't deny it. It happened. What you thought was gunshots, they were gunshots. Don't deny it. Let's move on. Let's get to deliberation. The sooner we get to the conference to discuss and learn about active shooter events and what the latest and greatest techniques are and what we're doing about it. This young lady here spoke there at the conference. She has a group that talks about and helps people train and develop plans to deal with active shooter events. That wasn't what she went to school to do. She went to school to do something completely different. She was in a class one day at Virginia, a young idiot in the classroom. She was a victim that day and survived. That's who she is, and we're going to hear about what happened to her.
I ended up sitting in exactly the same seat I always did, in the back right side of the class. What we don't know is that this time someone is downstairs and getting all 3 doors shut. Let me see. She is shooting. He's holding 2 guns. It's very cool.
They sat there and they played dead. They just waited to get executed. Is that a course of action that is acceptable? No. Can we do that? No. We're not going to be a victim. We refuse to be a victim. You're going to have to fight me for my life. We are not going to be victims. This is not a strategy. This doesn't work. They will simply walk one by one and kill you until they're out of bullets, or until the police get there, and then the cowards use about it. I'll be happy to make it. All right, ADD. I suffer from this. Trust me. But we're going to give it a new meaning today. It's not attention deficit disorder anymore. It's avoid, deny, defend. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're teaching here today. What we want you to do in the real world if you're caught up in this mess. First and foremost, if there's a shooting in the hall over here, we're going to avoid that shooter, and we're going the hell over here, right? Avoid. Clear that hall of targets. The fewer targets we give him, the fewer victims we give him. Deny. If we can't avoid, we're going to